What's going on, Fortnite fans? My name is Jakus the Creator, and today I'm dropping into Greasy Grove 100 times. When Epic Games brought back the Chapter 1 map, I knew I had to drop somewhere fun, somewhere interesting, and somewhere iconic. And where better than the home of the funny cartoon burger itself? As always, a huge thank you to Luke the Notable for inspiring this video format. Now, before this intro gets too deep fried, let's get right into the drops. Here we are, back on the Chapter 1 island for Game 1. My first drop was the Durr Burger itself. I quickly found a gun and got a sloppy first kill. I took some pot shots from the roof, but in the end, I had an AR and he had a pump. Game 2 straight into tilted. Nah, just kidding, it's still Greasy. The Bass Pro Shop gifted me a blue tack, which I used to get 1, 2, 3 kills. This might be the worst vending machine I've ever seen. 3 stink bombs? Really? I got my hands on a gold scar from a supply drop at Shifty, which I used to slaughter this poor guff. Greetings, bridge-dwelling troll. It is I, Jonesy, the bringer of death. Wow, I even found a llama already. That must be a good luck charm. Nope, it just made me a player magnet with literally every single other member of this final circle targeting me. And when I went to back down, a bush popped up out of nowhere and ended me. Game 3, we're dropping in duos. This big stone head is a pretty good rotate with some chests and a zipline close by. I never was too sure on the scoped AR, but that might just be because I'm trash with it. A fight broke out in the waters of Loot Lake, but I'm pretty sure they weren't real players, so it's fine. Final circle around Tomato Temple, and we pulled off my first ever rocket ride. I missed every shot, but it was still pretty fun. Oh, and we won the game, I guess. I'm mostly excited about the rocket ride. The gas station is usually a pretty terrible drop, but Game 4 it blessed me with a blue tack. Jaff even kindly built me a girlfriend. It was love at first sight. Yeah, I'm not convinced these were real players either, but if that's what it takes to get a back-to-back Fortnite win, I'll take it. The semi-auto is definitely one of those snipers I think is super underrated, but I absolutely love it. Epic, this ice cream truck does not have a million health. This is not my OG Fortnite. Anyway, we took home the win for back-to-back dubs, and I think that's pretty notable. Game 5 was a hot drop right into Greasy Grove. I dropped at the red brick house. It's an old favourite of mine. My drop was contested and I didn't get a gun, but he did. Game 6 I had nothing to my name, but that's alright, we can use chemical warfare. In the end I died, but he died too. Game 7 I became the boogie bomb menace of Greasy Grove. I don't care if they're bots, I'll bully them anyway. Wow, it's tilted towers. I'm sure nothing will go horribly wrong here. See? In fact, I made it all the way up to Loot Lake, where I got an upgrade to my loot through totally legal means. With my belly full of loot and a golf cart, I was able to make it to the final circle at Wailing Woods. It was a 1 vs 1 and I decided to get risky. I rifted right down onto him, and with the storm on us, it was going to be close. But I won! Game 8, my first weapon was a hand cannon, which I used to take some pot shots on the streets. I also got into a head-on collision with this anime Midas. He didn't have insurance. I found a shopping cart at the top of Stunt Mountain, so you already know what I had to do. Found myself a hunting rifle down at Loot Lake, which I took with me to the final circle. This one was looking to be around tilted towers. I'm sure that won't be an issue. Using a rift to go, I was able to get myself the best spot in the final circle, even eliminated someone in the storm. And with my pump, I had the most scuffed shotgun fight you will ever see in your entire life, but eventually landed the final shot to seal the back-to-back win. Game 9 I landed right on this little gazebo. It's a bad drop, don't come here. I still brute forced my way out of the grove and up to Viking Village, even found a llama. I shall desecrate this monument of shame for the glory of the Durr Empire. There were witnesses, but I dealt with them. The good old boogie bomb strat never fails me. Well, I guess it does fail me sometimes. Game 10 the Grove was just as violent as ever. Just the way I like it. Game 11 looks just the same. How nice. This time I lasted longer than 15 seconds, even upgraded to a purple pump. Although, after I blew myself up during combat, I knew this one was a wash. The early game was pretty quiet Game 12, so I made my way up to Snobby Shores and started a class war. Pleasant Park was just as pleasant as ever. Final circle was at Lazy Links and bleh! Game 13 was suitably unlucky. Game 14 I hit this man with not 1, but 3 stink bombs, and oh how I love to see that number count up to 100. I feel like I'm interrupting something here. I had an uphill battle here, but somehow my opponent's builds were sent tumbling, and then I one-pumped the Turbotrator. I lost to a drift in a bush, let's just move on. Chug jugs were really quite common during the first week of the season, and I think Game 15 shows that off quite well. One man can only have so much chug. Jaff somehow died 500 meters into the storm, so it looks like this one is up to me. That's alright, I can handle it. With that, this is a 1 vs 1, and all it took to get the win was a sneaky trap placement. I've always wanted to get a trap win. This combo choice seems fitting as game 16 is indeed trash. You know what else is trash? Flush Factory. Shout out to this toilet enthusiast who caught me totally off guard and almost made this game even more trash. I died. It happens to us all in the end. Game 17 had no audio. I'm not sure why, but I was totally deaf. Still, that's alright. Sometimes eyes are all you need. I found this tomato head lurking in the Durr burger. That's definitely sacrilege. Wow, I guess we finally found out who the bus driver is. Be gone with ye, heathen. This is my tree. I bushed my way into the endgame with grace. Then when it became a 1 vs 1, I launched in and took the win. Not bad for a guy with no sound. Game 18 was pretty awful. Game 19 I decided to switch things up and drop at this random shack nearby. It's not great for loot, but I found a llama so it all worked out. For this Nogops anyway. Game 20 I poked this pumpkin. I left the hood, but alas, the hood will never leave me. My mistake this time was thinking that entering the tilted death zone was a good idea. Sorry Floss Patrol 82, this is my house! The soccer stadium is probably the most accurate depiction of any English football match. We're re-entering the tilted death zone. This might not end well. Surprisingly, I didn't die instantly. Nearly instantly, but not instantly. Game 22 was worse. At least I got to watch my killer die. Game 23 I messed up the drop so we're visiting bots country. I'm not kidding, sometimes bots just spawn in out of nowhere around these parts. A fake default wearing the Fable cape? It's not 2018 anymore. Grow up. I got the holy grail of final circle weapons from this supply drop. A purple rocket launcher. But sometimes a blue pump is all I need. But combine both? Now that's deadly. This one's for bot country. This is game 24. It was bad. This is game 25. It was worse. Game 26 was gonna come down to Jaff, and don't you worry, my boy cleaned up. Game 27 wasn't quite as successful. Game 28 you might notice the massive iceberg that has now appeared. This means there's a lot more traffic to Greasy Grove now, but more importantly, the minigun! The minigun is best used at close range. It shreds here. Down at Loot Lake, I made the mistake of using the minigun at long range, but the pump will get the job done. Hey, it's an old-timey chest. Final circle at Haunted Hills, and I'm trading shots with this guy. I sprayed him down with my minigun, but I took a lot of damage. The storm overtook me, and I didn't make it. Game 29, I'm checking out the new pirate campsite nearby. The loot is pretty mid, but it has a cannon to blast off with. The Bass Pro Shop has a lot of quad crasher spawns, one of which I used to fly into Tilted, where I gunned down a random civilian shortly before being gunned down myself. Game 30, I got a rocket launcher off the rip. There's just something so beautiful about that. When the slaying was done, I took a cannon and yeeted out. For some reason, dualies were my weapon of choice in Salty. Even stranger is that it worked. I could hear someone, but I had no idea where they were, and I guess I found out. Game 31, I threw dynamite and hoped for the best. Plus this quick deagle shot helped. I got into a fight outside and lost. He lived with 5 health. Just like Chicago, the streets of Greasy were rife with gun violence game 32. A dude showed up with a plane, but I wasn't having any of it. The plane was mine for the taking until I was rudely shot by this little split. Don't worry, I handled it. Nothing to see here, just a man gliding across Loot Lake with a chug jug. Using my driftboard, I dropped in on this Midas. He dealt some good damage, but not enough. Similarly, in the final circle, I got this guy pretty weak, but missed way too many shots. I hit tier 100 though. Game 33, I left early and ziplined up to Polar Peak. The loot up here is pretty alright, you know, nothing to write home about. I made my way down to Tilted where I found a plane for the taking. Of course this is tilted, so immediately I was shot down. Don't worry, I lived. Almost immediately I got into another fight, and it was a close one, but I won. What's up, bro? Final circle at Dusty. He had to build up to me, so I just knew if I kept hammering on the pressure, I would win. And I did! Game 34 was oof. After that one, I decided to drop a Crackshot's cabin game 35. It's a good spot with up to 3 chest spawns, and right outside is a big forest with loads of wood. Then you can just drop into Greasy when you're ready, although this time it didn't work out for me. Made it to Tilted game 36, where I utilised the power of gravity to get a kill. But don't be fooled, this is still Tilted Towers. Game 37, I dropped right on a llama. Then I rotated up to the pirate camp and got a quick kill. I think I captured the single greatest kill of my entire Fortnite career right here. The plane is basically a free ticket into the endgame. Well, until you run out of fuel, that is. Final circle, 3 people left, and I just got my hands on a minigun! And for the first time ever, the man with the minigun lost. Cleaned up Greasy Grove pretty quickly game 38. I made my way up to Frosty Flights. The loot here is pretty alright, but the important part is the planes. Using my plane I was able to make it all the way to Dusty Divot. where I was given a shotgun to the face. This superhero skin thought he could evade me game 39, but no one evades fate. You know what's more powerful than a man with a minigun? A man with a minigun and a ride. A blue pump will do the job just fine too. This one didn't end too great, you know, I wasn't expecting him to jump off and start spraying and let's just move on. Greasy Grove was a hotspot game 40, which means a lot of loot, but also a lot of players. These supply drones drop loot from the skies, but can also be used as distractions for the little default skin noobs. Unfortunately, all the fighting left me without shotgun shells, and in the chaos, I didn't make it. Game 41 I was armed with little more than a grey pistol, and against the Black Knight, I stood no chance. I didn't make it out of the hood game 42. Game 43 cuts off at Spawn Island, so what transpired will remain one of life's greatest mysteries. Greasy was completely empty game 44, so I could just loot up peacefully. Down at Tilted I used a storm flip to lure this default out of hiding, and when it came time to fight, totally fumbled, blew myself up, and got shot in the face. Game 45 I was hiding scared in the basement, just like my 6th birthday party. I'm definitely a fan of the infantry rifle, Fortnite should bring it back more often. That said, the infantry won't help you when it comes to getting shotgunned in the forehead. Game 46 I'm dropping in this tomato head. This is probably illegal. I was too distracted by the pretty sunset to notice myself plummeting to the ground at 60 miles an hour. You know what they say, kids, a home invasion is only a crime if they live to report you. If I hadn't got this chug jug off, I'd be dead right now. I involved myself in a conflict that doesn't require me, like all good American patriots. Then I fell and shattered both of my knees. I've been wanting to get a win with this Cow Jonesy skin for a while and never have. Maybe this will be the one. Oh, well, maybe next time. I don't usually use the pet back blinks in Fortnite, but look at that little face. How could you say no to him? It's okay, little one. It'll be over soon. Game 50 we're changing up the drop spot. Gonna go to this little house by Viking Village. To my surprise it was contested. So I waited for him to awkwardly break down this tree before unloading my bullets into his torso. Using a baller I went to a vending machine which sold nothing. This man was having so much fun on his bouncy house that he didn't notice my shotgun going into the back of his neck. I then had to deal with the world's most annoying box fiend. I used my hand cannon to break through a weak wall and get the kill. I came across not one but 2 loot llamas in the same field. That's gotta be pretty rare, right? Using a sneaky rocket and a clean shotgun shot, I just brought this down to a 1 vs 1. And I got a minigun. So when the final player emerged, all I had to do was spray him down for the win. Another day, another victory for the OG. Yeah, they see me rolling. They hating. Down at Tilted Towers, I was certified dazzled by all the loot. Yeah, that checks out. Game 52, this Deadpool descended to give his judgment, but I'm a non-believer. It's so shiny. I just want to touch it. I got into a scuffle on Loot Lake Island, and when it was all said and done, I was alive and he wasn't. It's a simple fact of life. The bullying the residents of Loot Lake is objectively fun. So now it's the final circle, and on top of the island, I have the ultimate high ground. Well, until I fell and sprained my ankle. All I had to do was defend my land, and with a purple grenade launcher, that ain't hard. And now, it's a 1 vs 1. And that other guy had a cozy campfire, so I was able to heal all the way to max. So in the end, all I had to do was drop down and deliver a clean pump shot for the win. Game 53, I was just bullying the residents of this house for no other reason than my sick amusement. Down at Shifty Shaft, I decided to have a little bit of fun with my junk riff. It didn't quite finish the job, but my shotgun did. Oh wow, Salty Springs looks pretty chaotic. Maybe I should go and get involved. Yep. Bad idea. Greasy was pretty crazy game 54. I was just minding my own business until I was distracted by a third party, when a fourth party showed up and deep fried me. Dropping at the Big Stone Head game 55 allowed me to take some cheeky pot shots into Greasy Grove. The streets of Greasy are rife with violence. Cartoon violence, so I stay monetized. As it turns out, so are the nearby fields. Game 56, I baller bombed this fight in Tilted and was immediately annihilated. I engaged in a duel with this Goku game 57. He didn't stand a chance. Using a plane, I was able to get to Snobby Shores, where I vanquished this demon lady. I even found a llama! Yippee! Defaulting on down to Fatal Fields, I decided to become a kamikaze pilot. There were no survivors. I could hear a troll under this bridge, and when I dropped down to get him, I fell off. Then when I rifted back down, I fell off again! Don't worry, I got him in the end. I found this soccer skin out in the wild and used my rocket to blast his 90s, broke into his box and sprayed him down. In the final circle I didn't notice the guy on this hill until it was far too late. I fumbled with my weapons and died. I did some pretty good work game 58. My job being shooting people. Looks like I won't be getting that promotion. We're repping the company game 59. Apparently murder isn't a good look for companies, so I got reported to HR. Hey look, the burger on my back is gold now. Unfortunately, more swag does not make you a better player. This is game 61. Pay attention, it's a quick one. Yeah, I'm dying fast again in game 62. Ooh. Why, it's just a bush on a shopping cart. We've all been there. Little Timmy's mom shut his internet off. It's bedtime. It was a pretty fast circle game 64, but that's okay. I have a drift board. Final Circle is looking to be around retail. I was made for this. Using my strong materials, I was able to build quite a strong position in the final circle. I decided to take a risk and turn this into a 1 vs 1. It paid off. Unfortunately, with the storm encroaching and no heals, I was a pretty easy kill. I was his only kill. Game 65, I used my junk rifts to lure this citizen out of their house, but I was distracted. You can't run forever, Blip Blap 53. Yeah, let's just get this one over with. I don't want to talk about it. That's alright, we'll just run it back. I was just minding my own business on Discord when this bush blasted in. I tried to fight back, but I didn't try hard enough. I've got a good feeling about Game 67. The Lil Whip gods must be protecting me because this man just blew himself up. I was jump scared by a gnome out in the wild. Oh, you already know I Lil Whipped all over him. I bumped the soccer skin with my baller and got the kill, but was immediately shot at by a sentient bush, and I didn't survive. Game 68, he had the high ground and a rocket launcher. I was certain he was going to come out on top, but he didn't. No. Baller, come back. Baller. Baller! I was running a pretty weird loadout, and that caught up to me by the end. I had 2 rift to goes. I don't know why I didn't just use them. Game 69, we're getting intimate. Down at Tilted Towers, I could tell that someone was below me, but despite getting the surprise factor, they spray and pray me back to the lobby. Anyone else get kind of freaked out by this skin? That's alright, we don't have to look it up for very long. The next few games were played in the ranked playlist because I hate myself. Oh, and Greasy's a hot drop too, that's just fantastic. Greasy was absolute chaos, and in the end, I fought well, but not well enough. Hey, at least I got this cool back bling though. Listen, I don't hate ranked. In fact, I think it's a cool idea on paper. I just think it needs improvement in its execution. I'm definitely a fan of the airstrike. I knew this guy was pretty weak, but I just wasn't hitting my shots, so I lobbed an airstrike and that dealt with it. That encounter left me pretty low, but even so, I still cleaned up the streets of Greasy Grove. Then on the streets of Salty Springs, I brought my kill count up to double digits, but then was, soon after, killed myself. Alright, I know I've kept you waiting. I got the beef boss on for game 73. This player did not buy the beef boss with Coach Jakus. Don't be like him if you want to live. My lawyers have advised me not to speak on the events of Greasy Grove in Game 73. I don't know why the recording is running at about 3 frames per second. Something was up with my capturing software this game. Yeah, it got pretty bad towards the end, so I'll just spare your eyes and skip to the end. If you can see through the 4 available pixels on your screen, you'll see nearly clutch up. Okay, this footage is actually watchable. That's good. Greasy was actually crazy hot Game 74, but hey, who am I to complain? I'm a bloodthirsty man. Of course I took a moment to pay my respects to the king. The thing about planes in Fortnite is that if you don't boost, the fuel actually lasts a really long time. I was able to fly all the way around the map with no issues. Well, until I neared Tilted Towers, where naturally I was immediately shot at. A clean pump shot ought to finish the job. Final circle, 3 people left. And look at that, the other 2 are fighting. Let's help them out. Now it's a 1 vs 1, and it's a pretty even fight. We both have great guns, but I haven't got many shots in on this guy. In the end, I gave up the high ground to go for brute force, and his shots just hit harder. Still dropping his beef boss game 75, I really want to break him in with a win. It seems Fortnite answered this prayers, as I'm pretty sure this is a certified bot lobby. Yeah, there's no way these are real players. There's just not. Final circle, 4 people left, or should I say 1 person left, because none of these players are real. I must have been completely alone for like 5 minutes. I could not find the last guy anywhere, and then the game just ended. So I won, I guess. I wasn't recording game 76, but you can pretty much imagine how it went. I actually was recording game 77, but it wasn't much better. Game 78, I came across a dirt bike, which I immediately used to ram this ski skin. I then missed all of my shots and got pumped. Do not ask me how my day is going. It is not going well. Not well at all. This tile is placed wrong. Bet you'll never unsee that now. And after the events of game 81, I'll never see again. Greasy Grove is hot game 82, so this should be fun. It wasn't fun. Hey, look, game 83. I actually make it out of Greasy in this one. This Nogops was a brave man. Ran headfirst into the warm embrace of death. I made my way down to Salty Springs where I third-partied this fight, and after a short chase, finished off this Eminem. Yeah, Eminem is in Fortnite now. That's crazy. Much like the Nogops before me, I was fearless in the face of death. But with a well-timed rocket, I made it out. That last encounter left me on pretty low health, and with the storm to my back, my ashes were laying in the fields of Dusty Divot. The loot drones are well worth the extra traffic of the hotspot POIs. The loot these things drop is insane. This poor little Tyler Blevins never stood a chance. The Durburger building is a really great spot to grab mats, especially stronger ones like metal. Maybe if I'd actually used any of those materials, I might have lived. Skipping straight to the end of game 86, I got a good feeling about this one. I was minding my own business until this sweaty soldier pounced on me, but I had a purple pump. Then after spraying this man down, it's a 1 vs 1. And I've been attacked! Thankfully I had a cozy campfire, which meant I was able to recover some health. This one was intense. No matter what I did, the man just kept building. But thankfully I had the high ground and kept pushing him down. And with a well-timed rocket shot, I won the game. Who needs a gun when you start every match with a pickaxe? If any ladies are watching, you should know that I'm a bad boy rebel who doesn't abide by the law. I encountered a fellow bush and we frolicked in the flowers for a while, and while I did land some shots, he came out on top. There's a rift between Greasy and Tilted that you can use to fly across the map quickly. It's real useful. In fact, you can chain that with a rift at Stunt Mountain to get all the way up to Pleasant Park, and then chain that with another rift to get yourself all the way to the very top of the map. Using these rifts, I was able to fly all the way to the motel in game 88. It wasn't until my Odyssey reached the Risky Reels that I actually encountered anybody. Also, I reached level 69. Nice. I was just minding my own business until this Ragnarok on the driftboard pulled up. He had a jetpack and an infinite supply of grenades. I stood no chance. Game 89 was same old, same old. I killed some bots in Greasy, then die a gruesome death later on. Dropping in his collabman McGee game 90. If you want me to say his name, you'll have to pay me. A cool little strat is if you mantle while using a rift to go, it kinda cancels the rift and you can grab your items before leaving. Unfortunately, those items do not come in handy when you drop into someone's box on low health, miss a crucial shot, and leave with a bullet in the brain. Game 91 I didn't even leave Greasy. Game 92 I engaged in a fight with a gold trooper with a sniper. Should have seen that coming. What's this guy's deal? I like him. Doesn't matter now because he's dead. Game 94, I've had better games. Game 95, I was just minding my own business when I came across a minigun, just lying on the ground. Minigun go brrrr. But who needs a minigun when you have a baller? Now it's the final circle. I have insane loot, and this has just become a 1 vs 1. After taking out this Black Knight's shields with some grenades, I whipped out my minigun and ended the game with a T-pose for dominance. Game 96, a supply drop spawned right outside of Greasy Grove. How nice! If I can't have it, no one can. Game 97 isn't worth dedicating any watch time to. Game 98, I made it all the way up Viking Village, where I annihilated this poor default and got a minigun! And if there's anything stronger than a man with a minigun, it's a man with a minigun and a jetpack. I was going for the supply drop when this bush came to life and started shooting me! Despite minigunning with all my might, it just wasn't enough, and I died. Game 99, I threw down some random junk rift and actually killed a guy. Then I got killed. And here we are, game 100. Let's see what it has in store for us. I'm a really big fan of Greasy Grove. I go here a lot even when I'm not recording, and I think it's one of the most underrated spots on the map. It's taken me 100 games to mention this, but in the roof of the restaurant here, there's this pile of boxes you can interact with. They don't do anything, I just think it's neat. I even successfully tricked a man into thinking I was actually a bush. This player wasn't so convinced, but they were so distracted by my bushiness they didn't notice my rocket flying directly at their face. That didn't finish them off completely. I had to get in there and get greasy. Here I knew someone was approaching, so I was just hoping I would have the time to finish my chug jug. I didn't, so I killed him for his crimes. Then wouldn't you know it, someone else showed up. Do not build like this. I will shoot you down, and then I will kill you. Then this Ice King showed up, and I put up a good fight, but in the end, I didn't make it. There you have it, Fortnite fans. That was the Greasy Grove 100 drops. I hope it was a filling and balanced meal for your viewing diet. Make sure you don't miss the next 100 drops by subscribing to my channel now. Thanks for watching, stay creative, and I'll see all of you in the next video.